What's up everybody? Happy holidays. So I just got the Anbernic RG P01 controller. I didn't think I would like it this much. When I saw how much it cost, I thought it was gonna feel super janky, super cheap, but I'm here to tell you I am pleasantly surprised. I got it yesterday and I've spent about a day and a half now just playing with it, testing it out, and yeah, I'm shocked that they were able to sell this controller. At the time when I bought it, it was $14.99 plus shipping, and it feels very high quality. It feels very well made, surprisingly. Now, the Anbernic RG P01, crazy name, as usual, par for the course for Anbernic. It comes in 3 different colors, white, black, and purple. I opted for the black one. Now the battery life, they claim it lasts for 8 hours. I've been using it all day and so far I haven't had to recharge it. It has a 600 mAh battery. So far, so good. Upon taking it out of the box, the first thing I noticed was, wow, this thing is very light. And again, it doesn't feel cheap, but you will notice how light this controller is. It's much lighter than, say, the controller I've been using, which is the Xbox controller with the 2 AA batteries, and for those longer gaming sessions, I found this controller to be so much more comfortable in the hand. So we're gonna go ahead and test this guy out on my Razer Edge, which is an Android device, on my PC, and my Steam Deck. So pairing this controller is very simple. Since I was using the dongle, I went ahead and pressed the pairing button on the top of the controller along with Y for a few seconds, and it paired no problem. Now here we are playing a Castlevania game that you can actually pick up for free on Epic Game Store if you want. And upon playing Castlevania, I noticed very little input lag. All the buttons worked very well. The D-pad felt very responsive, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it pretty much felt like the Nintendo Switch controller. That's the controller that I would compare it to, apart from the 8-bit Do controller, which looks exactly the same thing, only it's way more expensive. And yeah, it worked very, very well. I mean, you'd have to forgive me, I'm not great at Castlevania, I gotta brush up on those skills, but apart from me just not being great at the game, the controller worked perfectly fine. And I went ahead and bumped up the frames per second up to 60 frames a second, so we're getting a bit of slow motion here, and you can see how there's virtually no input lag. As I press the A button, you can see how responsive this controller is, and the controller feels fantastic in hand. Like, it plays very well. Moving on to Android, pairing is very simple. You hold the pairing button on top along with the A button, and it took a few seconds and it connected right up. So the first game we're going to try is Ninja Turtles, and I noticed it played pretty well. However, with most of the Android games that I've played with a controller, there's a little bit of a delay. It's hard to notice, like I'm playing it in slow motion here, and you can see there's a few milliseconds of delay. However, it's the same thing with the Xbox controller. So I don't think this is a controller specific issue, rather something that I gotta figure out why it's doing this with the Razer Edge specifically. Now, connecting to the Steam Deck is just as simple. You hold the pairing button along with the X button, and it will pick up the controller as if it's an Xbox controller. Now, this is the whole reason why I bought this controller, is specifically for the Steam Deck, because when I travel, I do like to kick back on the couch and use a controller rather than using it in handheld mode, and I am happy to say it works flawlessly with the Steam Deck. There's no input lag, it works just as well as, say, my more expensive Xbox controller, and the benefit is it's lighter and it also connects to my Android, it connects to my iPad, and I do have a Switch, and that's a nice thing. If I wanted to connect this controller to, say, my Nintendo Switch, I'd be able to do that as well. So this controller functions as a multi-tool in a way. It just really works with everything, and because it's so light, it makes a perfect travel companion. So I even tried it on some of the games where precise joystick movement is important, and here I'm playing PGA Tour 2K21, and you can see it works pretty darn well. Woo! Come on. Are you fucking kidding me? So in closing, I will say this controller it gets 2 thumbs up in my book. I mean, $17.99, that is a very hard deal to pass on. I wonder if they might drop the price again for Black Friday, who knows. Apart from all the good, one thing I wish they included was a case, but for $17.99, I mean, come on. But they do include these foam little protectors that protect your joystick. I guess you can keep that on when you toss it in your bag. I got mine during pre-sale, so it was even a little bit cheaper, which again, I'm just kind of, my mind's blown that they're able to sell these things for this cheap. Who knows how they do it? But look, if you're in the market for a controller, if you want something that you can just toss in your bag when you travel, I highly recommend this controller. It gets, again, 2 thumbs up in my book. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully this answered some of your questions. And like always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.